Hello and welcome to this new video of NieR Replicant. I like how it's playing the sad theme, but since I played NieR Automata, I know that Emil is fine. Well, fine. His face is still kind of split open, but you know. He's doing alright in Automata. He's hiding the pain behind jokes and trying to be fun. What's the point of getting like any kind of upgrade material now that I'm almost near the end of the game? Not sure I quite get that. Oh my fucking god. This soundtrack right now is not really fitting for a fight. It's not a fight that's not even desperate. God fucking damn it. I win. How long are those fucking corridors? Jeez. Slowly final hallway 13. Did these come out before or after Final Fantasy 13? I think before? I don't know. Ooh, I leveled up! I haven't leveled up in so fucking long that I forgot the leveling system was actually a thing. Also, I kind of realized leveling doesn't really matter anything. Sure, it makes you stronger, but like... I feel like everything scales to your character, so it's not like... Except for a few enemies, it's not like there's any need to have your character be stronger. Win. Oh, come on. Okay, final boss. Let's fucking go. Are we gonna get a normal cutscene? Yes. Hopefully the audio won't cut. When am I supposed to get the reports on Kaine? Because I know, like, you know more about a backstory in report documents, but I haven't gotten that yet. Oh my fucking god, she looks like A2. Is Yona supposed to be A2? Well, I know that in NieR Automata, there are skins from the original NieR, and 2B gets the Kaine skin, while A2 gets the your character skin. I think literally the character's name is called Cleo. Oh, come on. Watch out for what? I am destroying it. Yes, possible. Fuck you. Get rid of that shield so we can finish you. Do I get the feeling that if I finish Grimoire Noir, I'll get rid of Vice too? I guess not. Oh boy! How does he have powers? He lost his Grimoire. Oh god. Okay, maybe this isn't the best one. I'll use the great sword. Vice, are you okay? Honestly, just keep brute forcing it. That works just fine. Not really a need for dodging. What? Damn, she has A2's face. Actually, she kind of looks a bit like 2B. Don't they look the same? I think they look the same. Hey, you recognize me, fucking somehow. I mean, you weren't even in her way, so, you know. That's not your brother, I am. I gotta say, that face does not fit that voice anymore. She's not possessed. Did you not realize you guys are androids? I feel like that sword would make much more noise if it fell down on the ground. Do not jump out the window. Go for her, dude. She's going for the window. She's a shade? Oh yeah, shades are actually the souls of humans. Oh yeah, and like they said, the replicants have developed, like, they managed to get their own souls. That's what happened with the sister. Come on, just ouch! I don't think all is well, Vice. What do you mean, what am I doing? I would like to strike the killing blow, but it's kind of strong. There you go. Oh, so this guy is supposed to be the soul that's supposed to go inside the body of my character. Just reboot.
どこかのバカ者に乗せられて無茶をしすぎたようだ。
I can stop using you, it's okay.
戦う骨董品は世の中にそうあるまい。シロ、ごめん、俺。おい、真に受けるな。冗談だ。だって。さあ、突っ立ってないでそこをどけ。我には最後の大任があるのだ。何する気だ？あやつの動きを止める。 そしてその後はお前に任せた。この先はお前一人の戦いだ。しっかり頑張るのだぞ。嫌だ。俺はまだ素人だ。我はお前のそういう単純なところが好きである。
Wow, you actually managed to like not stay for too long.
お前といると本当に楽しかった。
Good job.
しかしここでお別れだ。シロ。そう一つ言い忘れておった。何？シロというな。本当は結構気に入っていたのだぞ。シロ。知ってた。生意気なやつめ。
You know, I just can't help with the fact that it's a book. Ah, great. Wow. Okay, alright then. Oh my god! Come on, please! Nico! Fast sword! I did it, I think. Oh my fucking god. Oh, it's because the game, like, changed my controls. It put my dodge there instead of, where it was. Yeah, you can dodge through that, so it works. You know, I do wonder how that guy survived in the sun. Because he was a shade. Nothing here. That is a lot of flowers. How did he get a tree here?
Yona の様子は
What do you mean, no?
そんな
大丈夫だ。
What the fuck are you, White?
シロどこにいる無事なのか
探しても無駄だ。我はもう形を失った。
Where the fuck are you? What are you right now?
ゆえに今のうちに言っておく。
How the fuck is this working? Aren't you a machine? This is very weird.
ヨナは大丈夫だ。
Good.
恐れるな。諦めるな。呼び戻せ。ヨナを。
どうやって
ヨナの、そしてお前の記憶を。思い
Alright.
出せ。お前たちが生きる証を。
俺たちの赤
大丈夫。お前ならできる。
ヨナの好きな食べ物はそれはクッ
Okay,
クナの
thank
好
God.
きな本の題名はそれはね魔法の絵本。ヨナの好きな場所はそれはお兄ちゃんのいるお家。
Aww.
ヨナの好きなお花の名前はそのお花は月の涙だよ。じゃあねヨナが一番好きな人は
Your brother. Well, I do I just I guess I did it. Thank God I remembered the name I gave to my character. I should have named him Daxank. Yo, what if I said Kaine?
ヨナ
She probably would be still dead.
これヨナの体。
そうだよお前だけの体だ
お兄ちゃん大きくなってる。
Same for
あ
you.
の人みたい。
Which is weird because technically you should
あ
have
れから
grown
少し
before
時
me.
間が経ったんだ
ヨナはずっと眠っていたの。
あ
物語のお姫様になったみたいね。
あヨナ
Almost.
よかった本当によかった
お兄ち
カイネ
It's okay, it's his sister. The fuck was up with that leg?
平和に暮らす。
カイネはどうするんだ
私は
もしよかったら俺たちと
遠慮しておこう。私にはまだ片付けなければいけない問題があるからな。
問題
個人的なことだ。では元気でな。
カイネ
ゃん。お兄ちゃん見て。
The sun! Yeah, I know, we've seen that every day.
光を見たいって誰かがずっと叫んでた。やっと見られたね。
Well, actually, that someone is technically dead now because of said light. But you know, ow, my nose. Not really. Game is still very washed out. Yo, he cut his hair! Wait, what the fuck? He didn't. That's... What the fuck? What the fuck?
ありがとう、お兄ちゃん。
What the fuck is going on?
光がいっぱい。
Lucky.
ああ、そうだね。
So 9S, I think, is supposed to be an android that's supposed to be like this guy. What about 2B? Is she supposed to be Yona? She kind of looks like 2B, but I'm not sure. Woo! But that's not the ending where I get to sacrifice my save. Where is that ending? Also, yeah, no, I'm not stopping the video there. There's a bunch of endings we can do, so like, I'm just checking out how we do them. And of course I'm letting the end credits like roll because it's usual. Let's see, NieR Replicant endings. How do you get them? Endings. Endings guide by Polygon. Fuck you, Polygon. I ain't checking you out. From the gamer. Hey, perfect. Those guys are based. Let's see. What do you guys say? Unlock ending A. Longest playthrough, especially if you want to wrap up questing for some of the game's weapons. Holy fuck, really? You run through NieR Replicant normally and you don't have to worry about collecting weapons in this playthrough if you don't want to. However, it is advisable for reasons we'll touch on ending C. So this is ending A that we just got. Ending C is the ending where we collect all the weapons. Working towards ending A is the only time you'll play as younger brother NieR. Okay, well, we won't be getting ending C if there were weapons to get during the child phase. I like how Kyle Macaulay apparently worked on this, but we have no fucking clue what he did. It was literally like interrogation mark. Question mark. Ending B. After completing ending A, you load up your clean save data. Oh fuck. It should be marked on the save menu. This drops you into the second half of the game where you play as an older NieR. It's not done yet. Ending D and C are a package deal. But you want to complete ending C first. Okay, so we can go for ending B, but C and D, I think we failed because we didn't collect the weapons we could get during the child phase. Let me check. Maybe I do have the weapon though. Maybe it is. I don't know what the ending B is. Let's see. So about the weapon guide, what does it say? The task mission daunting, it's not really all that bad, and some weapons you miss from quests can be found in shops later, meaning you shouldn't panic if you miss a quest. So to help you grab that. Second. Was the cursor always on the screen or did it just appear? Yes. Ending A, call her back. You can now read a departed mother's diary in your house. Wardrobe has been added to the options menu. New outfits can be obtained by progressing through a departed mother's diary. Change music has been added to game settings. Cool. So apparently it doesn't matter if I didn't do the quest because I can actually just buy the weapons. So let's fucking go. For ending B and probably the other endings, I have a ton of money. I just need to go buy those weapons. And I'm not skipping any cutscenes because there's some slight new things in certain cutscenes. Discrimination. Oh, that's when we get to know more about Kaine. Great! I fucking hate it already. But it is Kaine's story. So I kind of wanted to know more about her. So let's fucking go! Story time! The sound of rain filled the village. The steep cliffs that surrounded the area magnified sound, causing even the slightest drizzle to rattle like a thunderstorm. Thin wisp of smoke streamed from huts as the villagers huddled in their homes and waited out the rain. A single child, however, had braved the downpour and was now wandering slowly toward the wooden hawk-shaped weather vane at the center of town. Reprex. The wanderer reached the vane. That's how you pronounce it, I hope. Which had existed for as long as any could remember, and stared. The child's face was simultaneously delicate and fierce, like a teacup that had survived a shipwreck. Those traits combined with pale white skin to give the face an almost sexless quality. If the beak turns east, I go home. If it stays west, then The child blinked, rain slowly dripped down the young one's short hair, and began its long descent to the ground. Come on. Come on! The child felt a slight breeze and watched as the vane slowly creaked to life. Spinning this way and that for a moment, it finally settled with the beak pointing firmly toward the east. East? Really? Before the vane could move again, a jagged rock came spinning and tumbling through the air, striking home against the child's head. The force of the blow dropped the child to the ground as hail of stones began to fall all around. Oh no, they found me. A heartbreaking smile crept across the child's face as the stones continued their assault. Through the rain, the sound of multiple footsteps grew louder before a voice rang out. Yoo-hoo, Kaine! The voice belonged to Dimo. Daimo? Worst of all, the bullies in the area are great. So they're the one who threw a rock? A bunch of fucking assholes. As Kaine struggled to stand, a final stone came skittering through the mud and bounced against her foot. Blood oozed from a cut above her eye and blurred her vision, but she could make out the shapes of Demo and his usual gang of idiots. The boy seemed taken aback for a moment by Kaine's seeming indifference to the blood dripping from her face, but quickly regained his bravado. What's up, freak? You like the rain? You like getting all wet? Kinky. Or did you finally decide to run away from home? Though she knew it was futile, Kaine turned to leave. Before she could get more than a few steps, the other children scrambled to surround her, cruelty burning in their eyes. Kaine knew those were not the only eyes on her. The tormentors' parents watched from the safety of their homes. She was attuned to this sensation. It was one she had experienced many times before. While some villagers simply turned a blind eye to the actions of their children, many encouraged it openly. A bunch of fucking assholes. In a society ruled by superstition and fear, Kaine was something to be hated, and if possible, destroyed. I didn't say you could leave, Rick. Demo's words shooed at her like a worm through an apple. You can't hurt me, she lied to herself. Be strong, be brave. You can't hurt me, you can't hurt me, you can't hurt. Oh, look, the little freak is gonna cry. What's wrong? Are you sad that everyone hates you and wants you dead? Fuck you. Kaine prayed for the rain to flood down and carry her away from a world that seemed to have no place for her. But if there were gods, they chose to ignore her. As Demo crept ever closer, the clouds began to thin and the rain slowed. Even the weather hates me. I'm useless, a failure. I wish Demo's rock had taken my head off. Jesus. Kaine couldn't meet Demo's leering gaze. She lowered her eyes and stared at the muddy ground below. The bully moved forward until he was inches away. She could smell the scent of old meat on his breath. Ew. The boy grabbed Kaine's face with thick fingers and yanked it upward. You already feel bad? Good job. She tried to turn away, but he forced her gaze back and jammed his thumb against her eyelid to pry it open. Show me. No. Just say no? Demo grinned heavily. You don't say no to me. No one says no to me. Fuck you. Not even taking his attention from Kaine, he called to his cohorts. Come on, guys, let's give the freak what she deserves. As soon as Demo finished, kicks and blows began to rain down upon Kaine. Demo paused, still grinning, as Kaine curled into a ball and tried to make the pain stop. I don't get you, freak. What you acting like a girl for, huh? Everyone knows what you really are. You know, just because she has a penis doesn't mean she's a girl. She also has a vagina, you know? Kaine ignored the question, choosing instead to stare at the weather vane. It continued to point east, as if supremely confident about the future it had chosen for her. Yes, that's Kaine. Go home? Yeah, that's a funny joke for someone with dead parents and no home to go to. Freak! Chanted the children. Freak! 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 Kaine closed her eyes and listened to the rain, waiting for the pain to start again. As the clutching hands of the village children closed around her, she bent her mind to the sound of the rain, letting it become her world entire. The rain fell, but the pain never came. Only when the laughter of her tormentors turned to terrified cries did she dare open a single blood-caked eye. Kaine was shocked to see Demo sprawled on the ground, holding his head and screaming in pain. She could see blood welling from spaces between his fat, twisted fingers. Oh my god, he's crying! He's actually crying! Deprived of their leader, the other children glanced back and forth between themselves, as if waiting for someone to step forward and take charge. When no savior emerged, they began an uneasy shuffle away from Kaine. But the young girl was the least of their concerns. Instead, their attention was wrapped on the ancient woman standing a few feet away. After struggling for breath for a moment, she finally spoke in a voice thick with rage. "Hurts like a bitch, don't it? Now I suggest you scatter before I throw another one. And if any of you little bastards even touch my Kaine again, I'll do far worse than throw a rock. You can count on it." "Is that our grandma?" The old woman crouched down and gently touched the end Demo was using to cover the wound. Before he could think to protest, she ground her palm into the wound and twisted back and forth. "Ow! Ah!" He screamed, leaping to his feet. "Stop it! What are you doing? Quit whining, and no one ever died from a scratch. You hit me with a rock, you stupid bitch, a big one. I think could have killed me." The old woman shrugged. "Death is the best cure for stupid." I like that woman. Demo's face twisted with rage at her words. Locking his eyes on Kaine, he took a step backward and spat on the ground. "Get out, leave this village, no one wants you here. Either of you." Seeing the old woman grab another stone, Demo and his companions turned tail and ran. As they fled, the old woman grabbed her side and barked out a single laugh. "Ha! Look at the fat boy go! Guess he's healthy enough to run from a fight." The woman's smile faded as she turned her attention to Kaine. Kneeling down, she removed her shawl and placed it around the young girl's shoulders, then produced a cloth from the folds of her dress and began blotting at the blood on her forehead. "Oh, Kaine," she said, "why didn't you fight back? You're stronger than that lot." The words of her grandmother stung Kaine, and she turned away. "Don't be nice to me," she said. "I don't deserve it. Nothing matters anymore." Her tears, held in check for so long, finally began to fall on the muddy ground below. "Everyone hates me. They think I cause bad things to happen. They think I'm a freak. I wish I was dead." As Kaine's tears turned to sobs, she felt her grandmother's hands on her shoulders. Despite her advanced age and diminutive size, she was a woman of surprising strength, and Kaine found herself unable to turn away. "Don't talk like that, girl. It's a river wide and deep that flows between the realms of this world and the next, and it grants no mercy to any that attempted to cross it. You got a duty to fight until your last breath, understand?" The old woman tightened her grip and tried to still the tremor in her voice. "You know the pain of losing someone close to you, Kaine? You know because you survived it." As the words hit home, Kaine was struck by the force of her love for the old woman. As a young child, she didn't even know of her grandmother, but when her parents died, the woman quickly accepted her as her own. Grandma, as Kaine called her, was cunning, vulgar, and quick to violence, and their first few years together had not been easy. Also, that's why Kaine was, swearing so much, is because of her grandma? Aww. But with each year that passed, Kaine and her grandmother had grown closer. However, it was only now, sitting in the mud with tears and blood caking her face, that Kaine truly understood the depth of her affection. Here was a woman who had seen hard times, who had seen death, who had fought through all these things and somehow emerged on the other side. If anyone could understand Kaine's pain and loneliness, it was her. "That make you sick, Grandma?" "Of course not. Don't be an ass." I love her. Kaine drew her grandmother's moth-eaten shawl around her body and shuddered. "But my body, it's not normal. Just because you have a penis." Then Mom and Dad, if it was normal, then Mom and Dad wouldn't... "Hush!" interrupted Grandma. "I'm not hearing another word of this nonsense. You're my granddaughter, and I love you. And if folks have a problem with that, they can just go to hell. God, she's so fucking good. With that, the old woman reached out and placed a wreath of dried flowers in Kaine's hair. The skill it took to bend the flowers without breaking the stems or losing a single petal was remarkable, and the beauty of it made Kaine want to cry all over again. Oh my gosh, these are lunar tears. Grandma, you made this for me? Lunar tears were legendary flowers. Most people could live their entire life without ever seeing one, and yet her grandmother had somehow collected a dozen or more. How the fuck? Kaine reached up and touched the wraith, as if she couldn't believe it was real. Where did you find these? Just stumble on them while I was out doing the shopping. The old woman turned away as she spoke, leading Kaine to suspect that the search had been more difficult than she was letting on. The pains she took to construct the ornament, let alone track down the flowers used in its construction, made Kaine's heart hurt. She reached up and gently adjusted the wraith, admiring the way it felt between her fingers. Didn't quite turn out right, said her grandmother as she squinted at it. These old hands have trouble with delicate work, but it sure looks good on a pretty girl like you. Kaine blushed and turned away. You think I'm pretty? Of course you are. What a fool thing to say. Thank you, Grandma. Her grandmother smiled. We're gonna be fine, you and me, she said. As long as we got each other, we'll be just fine. Kaine took her grandmother's hand in hers, and the two of them struggled to their feet. As they began the long walk home, Kaine gripped the hand with all her might, as if trying to stop smoke from drifting away on the wind. The rain had stopped. Kaine stood beneath the weather vane, watching it spin in lazy circles, no longer caring about the direction it faced when it stopped. I don't need to escape. I have a home now. Grandma loves me, and that's enough, even if it's us against the world. Kaine let her gaze drift up past the vane and into the cloudy sky. The last faint hints of a rainbow were slowly fading. As she turned and headed for home, the light scattered into a million particles and vanished, seemingly taken away on the breeze. That would have been great as an actual cutscene, but I'm only saying that because I love particles. Do we have more text? Oh my fucking god. Okay, game, that first story was great. I get the struggles of Kaine, but are we gonna unload the whole fucking story right now? Because I've been reading for 20 minutes. Fine, let's go for 20 more. Fuck it. In the distance, Kaine heard the steady sounds of an axe striking wood. Kick. I know you're trying to imitate Parappa the Rapper. The noise had a intentional quality to it. As if she was hearing a master woodsman go about his work. Punch! The firewood began being produced, however, was as far from a work of art as could be. Pieces of every shape and size were being flung about a barren yard with wild abandon. Chop! Anyone trying to stack such wood would probably die of frustration before the job was through. Block! Stupid piece of shit axe! Kaine's grandmother flailed away with the axe, filling the air with both splinters of wood and words that would make the most hardened sailor blush. Kick. Grandma, called Kaine. That you, Kaine? Yelled the old woman, taking her eyes off the wood for a moment. Punch. Don't get too close, I might take your goddamn foot off by mistake. She brought the axe down on a piece of wood, sending chips flying in every direction. One spun past Kaine's close enough for her to hear the whistle, at which point she decided to step back. Chop! When she scuttled to a safe distance, she cupped her hands around her mouth and shouted, "And block! Stop it!" Grandma! You need help? I can get you water or lunch or a new axe or something? The axe boy struck another wobbly blow. Pausing midair, the old woman considered her granddaughter's offer for a moment, then smiled. Stop it. Tell you what, since I'm doing such a piss poor job of shopping, why don't you come here and take over so I can go get the water? Says I've been restless lately, and I don't want you running into one of them bastards. Relinquishing the axe, her grandmother picked up a long pole with wooden buckets on either end. Shouldn't you have said both ends? Gathering water was by far the more difficult of the two jobs, but Kaine knew better than to complain. Once Grandma's mind was set, there was no changing it. Kaine did her best to help with chores, but Grandma took every task that required travel to the village. Though she had a long list of plausible excuses, Kaine knew the real reason. She didn't want her daughter to be taunted and harassed by the villagers. You know, I don't feel bad about those villagers fucking dying. Not at all. Weird. Once Kaine moved in, Grandma decided to take up residence a good distance from the area. Out of sight, out of mind seemed to be the best policy when it came to the villagers and her granddaughter. And rare were the days when any but the two of them could be found on the rocky acre of land they called home. Kaine enjoyed the solitude, but harbored a secret resentment to her that her grandmother was forced to spend her golden years in such a place. After watching her grandmother leave, Kaine turned her attention to the task at hand. She had never chopped wood before in her life, and soon discovered why the old woman hated the chore. Swing after swing of the axe produced only a tiny crack in the wood, and when she finally managed to connect with a solid stroke, the tool embedded itself in the log and refused to budge. Frustrated, Kaine swung the axe around her head and threw it, log and all, across the yard. Damn it, crap! She suddenly understood the joy her grandmother felt in a good curse. Happier now, she picked up the axe, forced it from the wood, and resumed chopping. She had a natural skill with the blade, but the task was challenging and blisters soon began to form on her small, pink hands. This is tough, and my logs are all weird sizes. Spitting on her palms and ignoring the pain, Kaine redoubled her efforts. Just as she was developing a rhythm, Grandma returned from the village. Sending down her buckets with a small sigh, she took one look at the logs and coughed out a wheezy laugh. Pretty clumsy, girl. You better practice if you... Her grandmother suddenly collapsed to her knees, causing one of the buckets to wobble precariously. Eyes wide, Kaine dropped the axe and ran to her grandmother's side. Grandma! The old woman shook her head and pointed a trembling finger at the bucket. Get the bucket, can't let it spill. Kaine steadied the bucket with a foot as she knelt by her grandmother. A small bit of water sloshed over the side and made a new home in the hem of her dress, but Kaine didn't notice. Grandma, what's happening? Crazed with panic, she grabbed her grandmother by the shoulders and shook. After a moment, the woman lifted her arms and batted Kaine away. Stop, Dad, just stop, she cried, breathing heavily. It ain't like I'm dying. Just tired from the trip is all. Kaine desperately wanted to believe her, but one look at the old woman's shaking hands and worn face told her more than words ever could. Her grandmother had lived a long, hard life, and it seemed the bill was finally coming due. The time when her grandmother watched over Kaine was ending. Sooner than either of them had feared, the position would be reversed. Quick question, though. Why did they set the fucking home right next to the fucking village that hates them? There's a fucking small-ass plain that you just gotta traverse, and there's another village with a lot of welcoming people in it. Though they did say Emil was not welcome. They didn't say shit about Kaine. But still. So why? Next morning, Kaine came to the side of her grandmother's bed and took her wrinkled hand. Grandma, you're sick, and you need medicine. I'm going to the village. The old woman shook her head and tried to rise, but Kaine gently pushed her down. It's all right, she said. I'll be fine. Her grandmother fixed her with a gaze that could melt steel. That is one hell of a gaze. After what seemed an eternity, she finally lowered her eyes and sighed. Well, I don't like it, goddammit, but I guess I should quit being so stubborn and let you grow up. The old woman watched as Kaine strapped on her boots and made her way down the road to the village. Hours later, as an unseen sun made its way across a dark and rainy sky, she was still watching. Kaine moved at a brisk pace, checking her pockets every few minutes to make sure the money her grandmother gave was still there. Every noise caused her to spin on her heels, making sure she wasn't being stalked by a shade, or worse, Dimo and his gang. But she encountered neither tormentors nor the shades, and Kaine finally found herself at the entrance to the village. The few adults she could see glanced sideways at her, then muttered to each other behind raised hands before slinking away into the shadows. A heart racing, Kaine took a series of rapid, shallow breaths and tried to calm herself. I have to prove myself. I have to help Grandma. I have to be strong. She chanted those words to herself over and over as she slowly made her way. Finally, her eyes settled on a rotund older woman who was angrily waving her arms in the air and telling anyone who would listen exactly what she thought of Kaine's presence. "Hey, lady," said Kaine with the bravado she did not feel. "Where's the apothecary?" The woman's flabby cheeks shook in bewildered anger. "How dare this thing speak to me?" they seemed to say, but Kaine saw that her eyes held a different emotion. Fear. "Yeah, we're both scared, lady. Trust me on this one." "Which way?" Kaine repeated. The woman pointed at a small building to her right, before hitching up her dress and stumbling off in the other direction. Kaine cringed. I hate the word cringing. And I use it, but I hate it. Expecting a stone to come flying from the assembled crowd, but none came. Her mind was filled with a strange sense of pride as she made her way to the apothecary. But the new emotion had little time to take root, for as soon as she opened the door, she noticed a familiar customer at the counter. Fucking Dimo. Yep. He'd clearly been sent here on some kind of family errand, because his gang of followers was nowhere to be found. "Oh my god!" he sputtered. What are you doing here, freak?" The insult was delivered without force. "What are you doing here, freak?" I guess. And Kaine happily ignored it. Stretching on tiptoes to see over the counter, she asked the shopkeeper for the medication. Oh, so she was still very small then. "Ha! barked Dimo. The old bitch finally keel over? Go to hell, Dimo." The boy's eyes grew so wide they seemed ready to fall out of his head. But before he could let fly a comeback, or worse, a punch, the apothecary told them to knock it off before he kicked them out of the store. Dimo slunk out of the shop, cursing Kaine under his breath. Once he was gone, she allowed herself to breathe once more, taking a brief tour of the shop while the owner prepared her medication. Countless tiny bottles filled the cramped store, each with a label written in some indecipherable language. This is hard to read. An ocean of aromas assaulted her nose, creating a scent that was exotic, but not altogether unpleasant. Seeing such a variety of supplies gave Kaine a sense of peace. Surely in a world so vast, there would be a place that she could call home. On the far wall behind the counter rested a portrait of a stunning young girl. The picture had once contained bright, vibrant colors, but time had worked its cruel magic, and they were beginning to fade. The beauty of the work, however, remained undiminished. Like that picture? Kaine turned to find the apothecary with a small vial of medicine in his hand. His eyes were gentle but sad, and they seemed to stare through her and into nothing as he spoke. "That's my daughter. I sketched it when she was just a little girl. She's been dead for a long time now." Kaine didn't know how to respond. She just stared at the portrait and tried to come up with the right words. "Pictures are a wonderful thing. wonderful things, I guess. Continued the shopkeeper. You let the ones closest to you live on forever. He shook his head slightly, then looked down at Kaine and smiled. Handing her the medicine, he reached into his sizable green apron and produced a handful of old wax crayons. You should have these. There's no one left that I wish to draw. Kaine took an instinctive step back, causing the shopkeeper's face to darken. Oh, is the drawing a drawing of the shopkeeper? Oh, yes, I've heard rumors about you, he said. It's a small village and word travels quickly. Between you and me, I'm not sure which of them to believe, but I also don't think they matter much. I know your grandmother, Kali, and I think the way she was driven out of this town is just deplorable. Grandma's name is Kali? I thought Kaine solely. She was still mulling this new fact over in her mind as she reached out and gently took the crayons from the apothecary's hands. Your grandmother is an old friend of mine, he said as Kaine scooted away yet again, and not how much. I wager she would like it if you drew a picture of her. Yes, I think she would like that very much. Kaine murmured a quiet agreement, but inside her heart was bursting. Never before had a villager treated her with anything but complete contempt. It was a tiny, almost imperceptible step, but it was a step nonetheless, and with enough tiny steps she might one day discover the rest of the world. When Kaine returned home, she found her grandmother asleep in her bed. Her feet were blackened and raw, even bleeding a bit in places, leading Kaine to think that she had been pacing around the room until exhaustion finally caught up with her. She placed the medicine by her grandmother's pillow, turned to leave, but found the old woman's hand clasped around her arm. Back already, are you? Asked her grandmother with a yawn. Come here, let me have a look at you. Grandma sat up and examined Kaine from head to toe, finally satisfied that nothing terrible had befallen on her grandchild. She leaned back and allowed herself to relax. Well, how was it? Those bastards give you any trouble? It was kind of fun, said Kaine with a small smile. No, seriously, it was. Fun? Huh? Asked her grandmother in a voice which implied she believed anything but. Uh-huh. So anytime you need me to run an errand, just let me know. As she spoke, Kaine removed the crayons from her pocket. After a brief explanation of their source, she informed her grandmother that she was going to sketch her portrait. A portrait of me? Ridiculous. No one wants to stare at a wrinkled old crone. But Grandma, it'll make you live forever. Horse shit, said her grandmother, throwing back the sheet from her bed. Living forever would just piss me off. Now put those crayons away and help with dinner. But Kaine would not relent, and in the end, Grandma found herself leaning against the wall of their house as if posing for a master artist. Kaine took up the crayons, eyed her subject carefully, and set to work. Just as her grandmother was about to nod off, Kaine finished the piece. After staring at it for a bit, she released it from her grip and let it slowly drift to the floor. It's terrible. It doesn't look like you at all. I'm sorry, Grandma. I thought these crayons would, make drawing easy or something. The old woman's eyes narrowed at her granddaughter's disappointment. Let me be the judge of that, she said, ignoring the pain in her back and reaching for the paper. The sketch could have been a person's face. It also could have been a boulder, a lump of clay, or an incredibly misshapen loaf of bread. All rendered in a chaotic array of colors. The old woman stared at the picture for a long time, then slowly wheezed out a laugh. Oh, Kaine, she said between laughter. You truly are my blood. You're as clumsy as me, and I love it. But... Hush, I won't hear any more bull about how ugly you think it is. It came from the heart, and I'll treasure it always. To utter a word, the old woman gave the picture a place of honor above the kitchen table. In the days that followed, Kaine would often catch her staring at the portrait with a strange smile on her face, an action she interpreted as silent, mocking laughter. A week later, Kaine could stand it no more and asked her grandmother to take the artwork down. "Bosh," said the old woman. "I'll take this down when they roll me in my shroud." She pondered this for a bit, and then turned to Kaine and dropped to one knee. "Listen to me, girl. Seeing this picture makes me happy in a way I've never felt before. It makes me want to go on, so that someday you can feel the same happiness." It was a moment that burned itself in Kaine's memory, a perfect blend of pride and love and joy that came together to form a lifelong remembrance. She swore to never forget this moment, to never forget the old woman who had made her place in the world possible. Time moves on, people and memories move in and out of life like ghosts passing through a hall. But this moment will be different, Kaine swore, because I will remember it forever. Forever. My fucking god! 20 minutes more! Let's fucking go! Jesus! This is gonna be an hour of reading! To be fair, we have good music and it's kind of fucking sad. Almost pushed me to tears a few times. Let's fucking go. Shoot! It's story time! It's story time! It's very interesting. It's actually well written. Too much well written, by the way. I have a hard time reading some of this. Kaine listened to the sound of crackling firewood and stared at the black object on her plate. She had been pushing it around the wooden disc for a good 10 minutes, ignoring the bemused stare of her grandmother. Finally, she summoned her courage and gave the object a brief sniff. A sharp, bitter scent flew up her nostrils and made its home there, causing her face to twist with disgust. Too bad. "Grandma, I can't believe you want me to eat a bug." The old woman threw some more wood under the cooking pot and snorted. "It's no bug, fool girl. It's a berry. Why the hell would I be feeding you bugs?" "Yeah, well, it sure looks like a bug," said Kaine. "And I think it's burnt or something because it smells terrible." With that, Kaine held her nose and threw the berry in her mouth, chewing as little as possible. "Oh yeah, that's terrible, all right." "Why, you little brat," laughed the old woman. "Look at the sass on you. You've been spending too much time with me, and that's a fact." 5 years had passed since the moment when Kaine's grandmother saved her from the bullies. As is often the way with two stubborn people, their relationship had grown in fits and starts, but moved forward all the same. Meals that used to be somber affairs were now filled with laughter and hurled abuse in equal measure. Kaine could not remember a time when she had been happier. As the years went by, Kaine started to shoulder more and more of the daily responsibilities. Her grandmother's legs grew weaker by the day, and she could no longer do many of the chores she used to take for granted. And so this morning found Kaine lacing up her work boots with a breakfast of burnt berry rolling through her belly. "Where are you going today?" asked Grandma suddenly. Kaine looked up, surprised. The old woman rarely asked for specifics anymore. "Well, I was going to check out the Kelma trees and see if they were ripe. I thought we could make some jam or something. Oh, and I'm going to pick up some flagstones, so I need to take the wheelbarrow." "Flagstones? What in the hell for?" Kaine stared at her grandmother, then held out an arm and swept it around their home. Constructed mostly of cloth, rope, and rubble, the old place was sagged like a boxer in the final round. "Grandma, a dying cat could shoot through this house. I'm going to build a stone wall so we have some protection." The old woman laughed, exposing her toothless grin to the world. "Goddamn, girl, if a bunch of thieves want to ransack this whole place, let them come. We got nothing worth stealing anyway. I'm not worried about thieves. I'm worried about shades. People saw one west of the village yesterday." The woman tilted her head and stared at her granddaughter. "Well, shoot, I don't know why you have to do it today. We can worry about it some other..." "Grandma, no. If I don't go to the Kelma trees, we won't eat tonight. You know that." A confused expression passed across the old woman's face, and for a moment she was a small child lost at a carnival. That is reminding me of the carnival part of NieR Automata, and I'm wondering if this is on purpose. The carnival part, not this. Yes, she said after a bit. Yes, of course you're right. I'm sorry, Kaine. Lately it seems my mind is... She didn't finish the thought, instead walking over to her nightstand and gently taking the wreath of lunar tears from the drawer. The flower's petals had aged to a brilliant whiteness, and Kaine thought it was more beautiful now than the day she first received it. "You're gonna be a true woman soon," Grandma said as she placed the flowers in the girl's hair. "So that means less chatter about shades and building defensive walls, and more talk about how beautiful you've become." "That is very vague, Grandma." Annoyed, Kaine reached up to remove the garland, but the look on her grandmother's face stopped her hand. "You're beautiful thing," said the old woman, "and there ain't another like you in all the world. I'm very proud of you." Man! This game is gonna bring some tears. Okay, Grandma, that's enough goddamn compliments for one day. Such a mouth on you. Where did that come from? Gee, I wonder. "I'll teach you to sass me, girl," yelled Grandma. Suddenly she lurched forward and grabbed Kaine by the ears, pulling her around the room with a crazed grin on her face. "Grandma!" yelled Kaine in a quaking voice. "Grandma, stop it! What the hell?" The old woman stared at her and blinked, then slowly held her wrinkled hands out as if it was the first time she had ever seen them. Oh, I don't know what happened there. I'm sorry, girl. Sometimes my mind just... Oh, God, she's... Wow. Kaine thought the look of her grandmother's face was the most heartbreaking thing she had ever seen. "Listen," she began. "Maybe I should stay home after all." "No, I won't have you stay here to keep an eye on an old codger like me. You do get your fruit, go get your fruit and your wall and whatnot. I'll be fine. And when you come back, I'll have a nice grasshopper dinner waiting for you." What the fuck? I thought those were berries. Kaine rolled her eyes, then kissed her grandmother on the forehead and made ready to depart, trying desperately to ignore the worry that was gnawing at the walls of her heart. Kaine could feel the old woman's eyes watching her as she moved down the path. Don't turn around, she told herself, but in the end the temptation was too great. She spun on her heel for one final look and saw a small, bent woman standing in front of a ramshackle hut with a sad expression on her face. Gods, she looked so old now. It's like the wind could reach down and just carry her away. Kaine worried about her grandmother all day, causing her work to suffer. What little food she could collect was tossed carelessly into the wheelbarrow, and she only found a couple of stones before losing interest in the project. Finally, as dusk approached, she decided to call it a day. Cursing herself for the lack of focus, Kaine pushed the nearly empty wheelbarrow back down the path. As she crested the final hill, she suddenly froze in place. The wheelbarrow fell from her fingers and collapsed on its side, sending a few pieces of wrinkled brown fruit rolling back down the hill. Her gaze was transfixed by a thick black cloud that hovered just ahead, tracing its path with a finger. Kaine suddenly felt her stomach knot in on itself. She's gonna die if she leaves. Probably not, I don't know. No, God, no! Her grandmother's house was ablaze, the flames licking up as if trying to touch the sky itself. Oh fuck, I spoke too soon. Grandma? Grandma! Kaine ran then faster than she had ever moved in her life. Once she tripped on a stone and went sprawling into the rocky ground, but she leapt to her feet and continued running, unmindful of the blood that spilled from her wounded hands and knees. As she got closer and closer, Kaine's mind began to race, tired with her footfalls. Sorry. It's too dark, not just fire. Can't be fire, too much smoke. Gotta save her. She burst into the front yard and came to a sudden halt. Worst suspicions confirmed. The smoke from the fire was mingling with the thick, inky blackness of an enormous shade. The massive creature supported itself on 3 twisted feet and achieved balance through means of a large armored tail. Scales, horns, and claws spouted from its body in a random chaotic pattern, giving it the appearance of a lizard designed by some insane god. Seeing Kaine, it let out a roar and flicked its tail, sending a small whirlwind spinning around the yard. For a moment the creature retreated, a shimmering inky blackness, as if her mind was unable to comprehend that such a thing could actually exist. But then the smell hit her, a blend of rotten meat and excrement, and the horror became real once more. The creature bellowed again, and this time Kaine responded with a scream of her own. "Alright, you bastard," she thought, as her scream echoed off the high cliffs around them. "It's your meat, let's go!" The shade eyed Kaine with bemused interest, then it began looking from her to the house and back again, as if urging her to look at the destruction it had so gleefully wrought. With dread building in her heart, Kaine glanced toward the house. Through the smoke and flames, she spotted a small figure struggling to escape the ruins. "Grandma!" At the sound of her voice, the old woman began waving frantically. "She's alive!" thought Kaine. "Alive!" Kaine's legs sprang to life as she raced across the yard toward the flaming wreckage of the house. Before she could advance more than a few steps, the shade opened its mouth and let out a roar powerful enough to uproot trees and send them flying. The blast sent Kaine tumbling through the air before smashing her against the rocky earth. Stars danced in front of her eyes as she tried to remember how her legs worked. "Get up! Get up! Get up! Get up! Get up now!" As Kaine struggled to her feet, the shade stomped toward the house and pinned her grandmother to the ground with the tip of a claw. Fucking piece of shit. The old woman struggled to move from the claw from her stomach, but she might well have been pushing a mountain. She coughed briefly, sending a small spray of blood into the air, then collapsed to the ground, her energy spent. Kaine lurched to her feet, only to fall back to earth with a gasp. Her ankles were on fire. One or both of them were surely broken. Ignoring the pain that screamed through her body, she began dragging herself across the ground, leaving a drunken trail of dust and blood in her wake. "Grandma! Hold on! Just a little longer!" Her grandmother's face was turning blue, her eyes rolling back until the whites were exposed. Kaine pulled herself across the ground with maddening slowness. The distance seemed to increase with every second that passed. The shade glanced between the two women and flicked out its tongue, its giant mouth turning up at the corners. Short, panting breath belched from somewhere deep inside its core. I think she might be. "Bastard, laughing at us!" She had no idea such a mindless creature could experience emotion, but there could be no doubt the shade was taking joy in their suffering. "Yeah, I see your plan." The shade moved its claw slightly, allowing Grandma to breathe again. It was clearly keeping her alive, only to snuff out her life when Kaine was close enough to touch her. "I'm gonna kill this bastard!" Summoning all her strength, Kaine rose to her feet. There was a sickening snap from her right ankle as the foot twisted backwards, but she forced it from her mind and began to hobble toward the monster. Pulling a small knife from the pouch at her waist, she leapt on the foot that pinned her grandmother and plunged the weapon deep. "Give her back!" she screamed. "Give her back to me!" It was like stabbing a rock. After a few swipes, the knife broke and the hilt with a dull snap. The shade panted laughter again, then raised its tail and set it rushing through the air toward the young girl that was latched to its foot. Kaine never had a chance. The tail struck her square in the chest and sent her crashing into the burning wreckage of the home. As she lay on the ground with blood pouring from multiple wounds, a small, weak voice spoke up. Kaine's vision blurred, but she forced herself to focus on the sound. Finally, her eyes cleared enough for her to make out her grandmother's hands reaching out to her through the smoke. Grandma? Kaine, you gotta run. You can't best this one. Kaine grabbed the hands and held on with all her strength. Grandma, come on, we have to go. The old woman coughed loudly. One of her hands, slick with blood, slipped from Kaine's grasp and thumped to the ground below. Grandma, no! No, I said run. God damn it, you have to leave. You have to get through. The thought would stay forever unfinished. Before she could say another word, the shade-clawed foot descended, smashing through the remains of the roof and down upon the shattered figure of the old woman. Blood oozed from gaps in the creature's toes as the terrible putrid smell assaulted Kaine's nose once again. She stared at the foot, dumbfounded, convinced that what she was seeing could not possibly be real. When the creature finally lifted its appendage, all that remained underneath was a twisted, unrecognizable mass of rubble and red. Her grandmother was gone. Kaine blinked, trying to feel the hands, which had been in... Jesus fuck! This is hard! Woo! Woo! I'm sorry. Alright, let me just wipe that out. Jesus fuck. Piece of shit. So, Kaine blinked, tried to feel the hands which had been in hers just a moment before. For a fleeting instant, she could remember the warmth of that embrace, the trembling of the fingers. But then the sensation drifted away on the breeze and was gone. Memories flashed through Kaine's mind, one after the other, and faster, until they became a meaningless jangle of noise. Kaine screamed then, a thunderous sound that echoed off the cliffs and seemed to roll away forever. The shade eased forward, black ichor pouring from its mouth and dissolving into smoke on the ground below. The earth shook with every step as it crept toward its prey. Kaine's body slowly rose as if controlled by a mad puppet master. Her arms and legs were bent at impossible angles. Her head lolled dangerously to the side, yet somehow she managed to stand. Staring at the shade, her eyes began to glow with a deep red fire. The creature, so confident just moments before, took a slow, hesitant step backward, trying to discern if this broken human could possibly pose a threat. Kaine seized the moment, laughing like a mad woman. She leapt into the air and clutched the shattered hilt of her knife deep into the leg of the shade. The shade shook Kaine off like a fly, sending her crashing to the earth once again. Her chest rose and fell slowly, as if great weight were resting on it. Moist sounds of pain echoed through her mind. Something warm and thick oozed from her ears. Is that blood? I think it is. I think I'm bleeding to death. No, can't die. Grandma told me to live. Deep inside Kaine's mind, something finally broke. The sound, the pain, the smoke and flames, all of it faded away until all that remained was a single incantation repeated over and over again. Kill it! 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 Kill it now! As a spark that was Kaine slowly began to flicker and die, she felt a desire to kill and her desire to leave blend into one. The distance between heartbeats grew longer and longer and longer. Jesus, that was fucking rough. Girl, you made me fucking cry, how dare you? Even Automata didn't manage to fucking do that. Almost though. To be fair, that grandma reminded me of mine. Just as stubborn, not as vulgar. Actually, still kind of a bit vulgar. So, that was... Man, I felt that story. Whew. Okay, Fighto! It's gonna be different. Like this is gonna be basically the same game we've played so far, except of course I'm gonna skip the side quests, and we're gonna go fast through it. It's gonna be alright. What the fuck's happening? What the? Alright then! Guess I killed it too fast. Stop! Please! I can't anymore! You already made me cry once! Don't make me cry a second time! Jesus fuck! God! Yeah, same. I think you could tell. Yeah, you go ahead. Jesus fuck. Gently, weakly, softly, the shade, sure that its tormentor was dead, turned and stomped off toward the horizon, stomping along the way to below one final roar. Couldn't kill it. Shame beyond imagining. Kaine tried to turn her head to the side, but only succeeded in coughing up a huge gout of blood. It was getting difficult to see, and only after a moment of fierce concentration did she realize that her left eye was gone. Wait, what? What? How? That never looked like that. What? She turned her remaining eye to the ruins of her home and noticed a ragged stump of arm resting a few feet away. Yep, that's mine, she thought with a mad giggle. This is gonna make clapping a real bitch. The time she lost her arm. Cried a sudden voice from the depth of her mind. Finally gonna die, are ya? Well, you had it coming. Go to hell, Demo, she thought at the unseen assailant. Go to hell before I pluck out your eyes and feed them to dog. Come on, poor dog doesn't deserve that. The voice of her childhood terror evaporated into smoke, only to be replaced by another, more recent voice. Hold still, said the apothecary, materializing from the ruins like a ghost. I want to draw you. That way you can live forever. No, stop! Don't want to live forever. Want to die right here. I see, he said quietly. Well, that's what you want. The spectral shopkeeper fluttered in and out of existence for a moment, then produced a piece of paper and sketched quickly. After a few seconds, he turned the page to Kaine and smiled. Since you rejected my offer, I decided to draw someone else. It was a picture of a grandmother, real as life. Kaine opened her mouth to thank the man, but stopped as the picture began to blacken in the middle. Before she could say anything, dozens of multi-legged insects began to swarm across the image, tearing at it with sharpened pincers. Stop! No, don't hurt that picture! Kaine reached out with her remaining arm and waved futilely at the air. To her surprise, the insects fell off the picture and to the ground below, where they vanished into tiny black tendrils of smoke. Relieved, Kaine turned her good eye back to the picture, only to open her mouth in a silent scream. The sketch now showed her grandmother as she truly was, a smashed, unrecognizable lump of nothing. Whoever wrote this is a fucking asshole to the fucking grandma. Jesus fuck. The apothecary smiled and broke into a jolly dance. See that? He cried as he danced his jig. It's perfect now. She looks just like you. I look like that? Oh God. God, I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die. Drowning in despair, Kaine laid her head back in the mud and smoke of her ruined house and waited for the end to come. But just before she let everything go, an unfamiliar voice began whispering in her ear. Ain't you got a wish, sunshine? The voice was vulgar and fierce at the same time, as if insanity had somehow found a way to take form. Kaine wanted to scream as the voice crawled under her skin, but her lungs refused to work. You know, a wish? Like a prayer or something? Why don't you get on your knees and start praying to heaven? Please, invisible man in the sky, save me, save me! Kaine finally resorted to shouting at the voice with her mind. I don't make wishes that don't come true for me. I'm a curse, a freak. I should be left to die. The other voice boomed in her ears. Oh God, you're the best. Kaine glanced down and saw a black, shiny substance oozing from her legs. She tried to brush it away, but her remaining arm would no longer respond. The substance slowly crept around her feet and then began moving up toward the rest of her body. Is this death? Is this what it's like? Or is my mind just losing itself? She could feel the slime oozing upward, feel the hot, searing pain it left in its wake. Whatever else might be happening, she was still alive, and this was real. Come on, said the voice, let it go. Let it go. Can't hold back anymore. Kaine tried to ignore the voice and concentrate on the pain, but the newcomer would have none of it. Don't ignore me, sunshine. Ready to give up? Ready to die? Someone don't let me have it. Have what? Your body. Come on, give it to me. Give it to me. I want to stand on the ground, feel the rain, taste the wind. The voice paused, as if licking its lips. When it resumed, it was filled with mad, unabated joy. And I want to take your hands and use them to choke the goddamn life out of people. I want to tear out their throats and bathe in the blood, just like before. Oh, so the soul she managed to get was the soul of a fucking psychopath. Why did we keep that soul? In response, Kaine shifted her head and vomited. The warmth of it crept down her front and mingled with the pain of the encroaching black ooze. Are you a shade? Yeah, maybe. What of it? The slime reached her face, crept up past her nose, and slowly oozed into the socket of her missing eye. The moment he touched her brain, Kaine was struck by the most powerful sensation she'd ever felt in her life. It was ecstasy. She wanted to scream with delight, but all she could manage was a small whispered moan. This is taking a weird fucking turn. Feels good, don't it? Asked the voice with a chuckle. Yeah, what can I say? I know how to please the ladies. Now, give me that body. Come on, give me the body and I'll give you more of this feeling. It's a fair trade. A black lump began to protrude from Kaine's side. As she watched, it grew longer and thicker, eventually taking the form of her missing arm. I can see better, she thought. My eye must be growing back too. The slime reached up to envelop the rest of her face, but she managed to brush it away. Stop, she whispered, marveling at how she had regained her voice. Stop. The black ooze hesitated as if considering this request, then quickly shimmered down her body before disappearing in a cloud of smoke. What the hell, Sunshine? Screamed the voice. We had a deal. I thought you wanted to die. Grandma said, can't die yet. A brief image of her grandmother, bloodied and broken, flashed before her eyes. She saw the shade that had killed her and heard its mocking laughter, then closed her eyes and forced the image from her mind. Her whole body was quaking with rage. When she opened her eyes again, they burned bright red. That thing took my grandmother. I have to kill it before I die. Kaine glanced down and saw a mysterious pattern, the pattern of the shades, burn itself into her left arm. Well, I'll be damned, said the voice cheerfully. Look at that, Sunshine. I think you and me are gonna be good friends now. Kaine stared intently at her arm. The more emotional she felt, the more the letters seemed ready to puncture her skin and begin infecting the rest of her body. The arm clearly had a will of its own now. Stop. Gotta stop. Holding her left arm in her right, Kaine took a deep breath and tried to calm herself. Come on, don't fight it, pleaded the voice. Hey, it's my favorite dish and I'm hungry. Let it go. Feel the anger. Burn with the fire of revenge. First for blood, then go out there and... Shut up! Shut up and get the hell out of my body. Your body? Oh, that's rich, Sunshine. Real rich. Look, why don't you just up and die so I can have this body all to myself? What do you say? I bet those buddies of yours in the area would love to see you dead. Kaine grabbed a nearby shard of glass and tried to saw off the shade-infected portion of her side. Before she could, her darkened left arm grabbed her right wrist, crushing it. Kaine screamed and dropped the shard as the sound of bone crushing on bone filled air. The air. Okay. The sound of bone crunching on bone. Bone crunching on bone? That. Can you even read that? That kind of makes no sense. Who cares? Stupid Asian girls, you're possessed now, Sunshine, and there ain't no going back. The voice laughed again, a loud, long wail that seemed to go on without end. Possessed? Whispered Kaine. Yeah, possessed. You and me, we got what you might call a timeshare arrangement. Remember how folks used to think you were a freak? Well, will they get a load of you now? That's hard to read. Kaine looked up, tears in her eyes. Both? Because one is possessed. The sky seems smaller somehow, darker. Is this because of that shade? Is this how they see the world? So, listen. I know this whole possession thing seems a bit sudden, but it ain't all that bad. There's plenty in it for you, too. I'm a very powerful creature, Sunshine, and now that power belongs to you. You got enemies? People you want to kill? We can make it happen. That little fat kid who kept picking on you? That big old shade that squashed your granny? We'll wrap him up in their own assholes. No more abuse for you, Sunshine. No more pain. Wait, said Kaine. You're a shade. Why would you help me kill another shade? What? You think I'm some kind of racist? Some killing snob? I don't give a good goddamn who you murder, Honey Pants. I just want to drink from the well. Kaine considered this as she struggled to her feet, the power of the shade coursing through her. The smoke from her house was drifting away with the wind, and she enjoyed the way the cool evening breeze felt on her new left arm. After a long pause, the voice spoke again. So, how about it? You and me? We could have some good times together. Look, I'll even take care of the bloody part if you don't want. Fuck off, asshole, muttered Kaine. I'll end the killing. Screamed the voice. Look at you go! Oh, sunshine, we're gonna have so much fun! So, listen, my name's Tyran, and if you ever need me, I'll just be hanging out in this piece of meat you call a heart. Now get to it! The more you kill, the more your heart turns rotten and sour, and I like rotten and sour. Kaine found herself nodding at the voice. Yeah, she said. Yeah, I think this can work. I'm gonna find that shit and I'm gonna strangle it with its own guts. And when I'm done, I'm gonna do the same to you, Tyran. Count on it. Left Tyran. I've shit bigger than you. So good luck with that. Oh, and hey, one more thing. Right now, you and me are sharing this body. But if you ever run out of hate, if you ever, go soft, then I'm gonna take over everything. So keep on killing, sunshine, and watch your back. The voice grew fainter and gradually faded away, fading to somewhere deep inside Kaine herself. Kaine waited until she was sure the voice was gone, then waved her new left arm around a few times. It feels perfectly normal, she thought. It feels like mine. Desperately, she began poking and prodding at the new limb, determined to find something wrong with it. She didn't want it to feel normal. That would mean the creature inside her had already won. I'm not a shade, I'm Kaine. Repeating this mantra in her mind, she slowly began digging through the rubble of her house, being careful to ignore a certain red-stained spot in the corner. Can we stop talking about her grandma like that? This feels very disrespectful. Finally, after what seemed like an eternity of heartbreaking work, she found what she was looking for. It was the wraith of lunar tears. Though it had been through hell and back, the garland's petals were as bright as ever. Kaine started to place it in her hair, then slowly lowered the wraith and stared at it. I'm sorry, Grandma. I'm so sorry. But I don't deserve to wear this anymore. I'm possessed, corrupted, a freak. At this time, I don't think there's any going back. And you say that in text. Ironic. Holding the flowers to her heart, Kaine fell to the ground and sobbed. As night gradually lightened to dawn, and the people of the area arose to their daily lives, she remained in that position, as if tears could somehow wash away the aura that now infected her world.
おばあちゃん。
カイネさん、生きて戻ってきてください。
That's okay, we just spent the fucking entire hour reading stuff. Hey, there was a bit of fighting in the middle.
お前たち。エミール、私を呼んでくれていたのはお前だな。
僕のことわかるんですか？
エミールはエミールだ。私は間違えぬ。
カイネさん、ありがとう。
おかえり、カイネ。
ずいぶん立派になったな。どのくらい眠っていたんだ、私は。
5年だよ。
Despite this being ending B, I still do not understand that stare she gives him.
ヨナは
探してるが魔王の足取り自体なかなかつかめぬ。
これ
それは月の涙。
おばあちゃんのに負けないやつをって頑張って作ったんだけど。
そうか。ありがとう。ありがとう。
Good question. Not sure. Also, I just
長く
realized
石化されていたカイネの目覚め。
the shade inside her body is basically
エミ
Hulk,
ールの見せた優しさ。
but reverse.
再び出会う。
It doesn't take over as long as she's
俺たち
angry.
は噛み締めていた。デボルさんたちからその話を聞くまでは。
Yeah, we've already seen that. Is there gonna be anything different about it, though? Oh my god, I swear to god, there's gonna be more story of Kaine right after we go to the next scene transition. I am betting on it.
分かってちょうだい。揉め事が起きて危害が及ぶのはあなたたち自身なのよ。
でも
大丈夫ですよ。僕らなら外。
待てよ。おかし己の身を犠牲にして村を救ったカイネとエミールが
だって僕らこんなんだし、あなたにそう思ってもらえる。
Again, Emil, you're
も
adorable.
う十分です。ね、カイネさん。
私は外の方が慣れてる。
そんな。
じゃあ外で待ってますね。
You know, there's one thing the story of Kaine didn't mention, didn't even talk about, even in the slightest. It's her outfit. I would like to understand that part.
どうした？
俺ちっとも気づかなかった。カイネがなぜ野宿していたか。
Actually, I think I understand the outfit.
ちっとも気づいてやれなかった。
Because she tries her hardest to cover any kind of part of
もう
herself
休め。
that's been reconstructed by the shade. So like her left leg and her left arm. So I feel that in contrast, she wants to show as much of
その夜は
her actual human self as she can. Yeah, the eye I don't understand. No, she actually hides with the lunar tear. That's right. She always has the lunar tear
冷たい
in
人だ
her
と
hair
思った
on her eye.
だが
So she hides it
そ
with
んな
that.
俺の感情には意味が。
But not too much because she still needs to fucking see, you know?
彼女たちは村を第一に考えた結果、ああいうしかなかった。
So I think it's because she wants to show
村人たち
as much
魔物の
as she
恐怖
can
から
of
守
her
ろうとして
actual
言った
human self.
デボルさんとポポルさんの罪を責めるなんて
I
で
hope
きない。
not. I am done fucking reading.
カイネたちの立場を知ろうともしなかった。
But I get the feeling that this is gonna be that.
同罪なんだから。
Honestly, if we get any more text and it's not just about Kaine, I'm probably not gonna read it because I don't really care about the other characters. I've known enough. This is new.
カイネとエミールに謝ろう。謝って。いや、謝ったって。
カイネさん、
この声は。
焚き火ってカイネさんとまたお話ができて僕嬉しいです。
そうか。私もだ。
カイネさんを助けるために僕頑張ったんですよ。一生懸命磨いてみたりお湯をかけてみたり。
お湯をかけたのか。
はい、でも全然ダメで。
あ、石化を解いてくれてありがとう、エミール。
ちょっとだけ姿が変わっちゃいましたけ
This
ど。
is a nice scene.
辛い思いをさせてしまったな。
Cute.
でも
I never heard of a cat having
悪いこと
hiccups.
ばかりじゃありません。こうしてカイネさんを見ながらお話できるようになりましたし、そうだ、カイネさんのこと聞かせてくれませんか？
私の話はつまらないぞ。
カイネさんのこともっと知りたいんです。
分かった。私に魔物がつく前、子供の頃の話だ。私は少し変わった体をしているせいで、村では厄介者として扱われていた。
How the fuck did they find out that you had a penis though?
でもただ一人、おばあちゃんだけが私を受け入れてくれ
Damn,
た。
those textures look bad.
どんなに辛いことがあっても、おばあちゃんがいてくれるだけで私は生きようと思えた。
Yeah, and your story about her made me fucking cry.
カイネ
Jesus.
さんにとって本当に大切な人なんですね。
あ、
そうだ、カイネさんの石化も治ったんですから、魔物つきのことや僕の体を治す方法も見つけましょう。みんなで探せば。
I don't think there's a cure for your body, your weapon, remember?
僕たちならきっとできると思います。
お湯をかけるよりは難しいと思うがな。
もうそのことは忘れてください。
Does that mean Emil was gay for Kaine? But she still has a bag. But it is kind of cute. What? What's up with my character?
眠れたのか。
ああ、
目が赤いな。あまり思いつむ。
ポポルさんたちのところに。
分かった。
Moonflower? Anything here? Nope. Is that new? I don't remember those petals being here. No, my thing is dead. Oh. Oh well. I do wonder if I have the weapon master or not. I don't think I do because I should have like obtained it after. Oh, maybe there's a few weapons I need to get in the
まずは
Sen
デボルさんに挨
village.
拶して。
Oh, Devil first. Because I did get the weapon in this village. I think I got. Too bad I do. No pretty please. Don't worry, we're gonna go through this game like real quick. Wait, what the fuck? Where am I supposed? Oh, she's in the middle. I forgot about that. Actually, let me just go check the weaponsmith. See if he has anything. Probably doesn't because last time we checked, he didn't. Okay, he doesn't. So I just gotta go check every single character that can sell weapons, and then I should probably be able to get all the weapons in the game. Unless there's a weapon that you can get from a quest in the second part.
こんにちは。
I should probably check
デボ
that.
ルさん。
よう、意外だな。
いいえ、
そうだな。
ええ、それと
なん
俺も
お前が謝る必要はないさ。彼女たちにも謝っておいてくれ。
ちゃんと
The good thing is, since because of all of that text, like we've already gone through, we can skip no problem.
ポポルさん、
あ、
昨日は
どうして？
で村のみんなのため。
優しいのね。
そういえば何か。
ええ、石の神殿が。
我の
そう。
でもあそこに渡る
船で
船。
ようやく魔物からの石の神先導。これで
ありがとう。ポポルさんには本当に。じゃあ
気をつけてね。
Okay, so far in terms of like objectives and gameplay, this is the same game. Which I gotta say, Automata did it better. Like as soon as you started, I know. Like as soon as you started ending B, it was literally 100% different gameplay. Though again, to be fair, Automata had a bigger budget than this game. And the audio's fucking dead. Woo! Well, I think I'm gonna stop there for this video, instead of like just getting the audio back again and continuing the video. So thank you all so much for watching this video of NieR Replicant. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you all next time in the next video.